Hey Yado, hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the I Love Me podcast. And today I'm joined with another special guest. So let's just get into it. Come on, introduce yourself.
Hello, everyone. My name is Shashank Arvindan. I'm a third year commerce and aviation student here at Mount A. My ethnicity is Indian, brown, but I am from Kenya. So I guess I'm a mix. I'm an Afrofusion mix, to say the least. I was born in India, moved to Kenya when I was 6 months old. Grew up in Kenya, so I speak Swahili and my Indian mother tongue as well, on top of English. So yeah.
So you talked about the transition from India to Kenya when you're 6 months old, and now you've moved from Kenya to Canada. How has there been any difference in the transitions between the two?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, where do I start? The culture difference between the two countries, completely different. I mean, the different food, different kind of humor, and different kind of priorities to life. It was something new to get used to and to get accustomed to. But I'm definitely adapting, and yeah, the food did strike me at first, to be honest,
Why?
because I don't know. Coming from these countries like Kenya and India, where spices are so common and frequently used, and coming here, I'm just seeing people use salt and pepper as spices. It was quite. I was stunned. I was like, surely not. Surely there has to be some more spices, some more flavor. But I guess that's part of the culture, and I'm learning to appreciate it.
Yeah, like for sure. I definitely remember my first time having like biryani or like tandoori chicken. It was so spicy, but like the flavor was just so good. And I honestly can say I now love Indian food now. And like all my friends like cook like Indian foods and like stuff like that. So it's really good. Are your parents from Kenya or India?
My parents are born and brought up in India. It's just that my dad moved to Kenya for work, and yeah, they've settled there now. But they're pretty much Indian. Yeah.
Ah, nice. So let's just get straight into it.
Mm-hmm.
You're 19 years old.
Yes.
Have you ever had any negative experiences within your life?
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely been quite a few, and it does get personal sometimes, but I think it's all about learning from it, getting used to it, and I guess making the most out of the situation. When I first came to Canada, and this was pre-COVID as well, every security check at the airport I was transiting through, it was like it had to be me getting the randomized check, and I was like, I'm trying to see a pattern here. But yeah, I guess that's how the world works these days, and I've I've just started to appreciate myself more, and learn how to adapt to the situation.
Yeah, like definitely, that's definitely a thing where like people of color,
Mm-hmm.
especially minorities coming into
Mm-hmm.
like a predominantly white country, they're
Yeah.
always stopped when it comes to like TSA or like random spot checks, and they always say it's random, but everyone knows it's not.
Oh no.
It's always targeted towards people who have a funny last name or have like a funny look. And like since you started noticing that pattern, what emotions ran through your head? Like you noticed that you had a pattern of like I'm being stopped at this point, I'm being stopped at
Mm-hmm.
this point, I'm being
Mm-hmm.
stopped at this point. What emotions ran through your head during that time?
Honestly, I think the first thing that came to mind was like, I'm just kind of being marginalized yet. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it just feels like I'm being targeted, and surely there's going to be a specific reason why. And I did kind of feel offended, because when you're randomly selected there, you're on the spot, and it just doesn't feel right sometimes. You're just trying to travel, you're just trying to have a good time, and that happens. But as you get used to it, it's like now it's literally a day-to-day thing. It's like, spot check, boom, I'm right there.
Did you travel alone as well?
Yes, I was alone, and
Oh wow. So that must have brought on like an extra added stress because like you were
oh yeah, first time to a Western country as well. First time to North America alone.
oh wow.
Yeah, it was slightly stressful, just trying to adapt to things. But yeah, now that I've done it quite a few times and seen how the situation is, it's kind of normal, I guess.
Yeah, so like I guess like the first impression was not the best impression.
I wouldn't say so. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I don't feel like the first impression for me in coming to Canada was the best one either. But I know we've talked about like our experiences as a group here at CHMA, and I know
Uh
you
huh.
talked about the weird encounter you had with the lady here in Sackville.
Yes, yes,
Would you
yes.
mind like sharing that?
Yeah, for sure. Actually, this was in the orientation program held by the university, and it was, I think, a corn boil. And I was pretty happy. I was like, let's experience the new
Living
country,
life.
live in life. It was a sunny day as well, and wearing shorts in Canada. I was like, yes, yes, I can't ask for anything better. Strolling down, happy. Went to get my buttered up corn,
Sauce it up.
soaking and smothered up with some juicy butter. I got the corn. I keep walking down, and I got approached by this, I guess, local. I was like, okay, yeah, let me just have a lovely conversation here. And she was like, hey, where you from? What's your major? And I was like, yeah, I'm from Kenya. My major is aviation. First time here. It's been a week since I've come. She was like, wow, oh, you're from Kenya and you're doing aviation? I was like, yeah, exactly. And she was like, oh, 9/11 was a bad thing, wasn't it? I was like, hold on, hold up. Just wait, hold on. Back up. Wait a minute. Wait. What just happened? I was like, huh? And she was like, yeah, it was crazy how bad that was. I was like, I wasn't even born then. Like, I understand it was definitely a hectic situation, but how does that why is that the first thing that comes to your mind when I
Yeah.
mention that I'm a aviation student, being an international student? I was quite stunned. I was like, what? And I remember like dropping a bit of excuse me, and she was like, yeah, definitely. I think it was terrible. I was like, this is way too uncomfortable for me, and I just left the situation. That honestly, that made me super uncomfortable for the next few days because you kind of lose track as to what your place is here when you come alone to a new country, and that's like one of the first few experiences you have. It's definitely not the greatest, but I think what I did learn was, to take it by your stride, and what that did was just give me more confidence that I gotta love myself more, and gotta be happy with yourself because
Yeah,
no one else is gonna do it.
definitely.
Yeah.
Like, especially coming here alone, or even if you come here with your parents, you still have that safety net until they
Exactly.
leave.
Yeah.
And then you're just exposed to like this world of microaggressions, racism, bullying,
Mm-hmm.
like the cliquish vibes here in town.
Absolutely.
And so, like, especially since COVID-19 has started, a clique could no longer be a thing. Like, you were in a bubble or
Oh.
you couldn't have a bubble.
Mm-hmm.
It was just so you're separated by yourself.
Mm-hmm.
How has the impact of COVID-19 affected you in any way?
Oh, it was absolutely dreadful. I was meant to go home the week the outbreak happened, and the whole world went into pretty much lockdown, and no one knew, no one knew how long it's gonna last. I thought it's gonna be just a month or two of just waiting it out and hopefully going back, but I found myself stuck in Sackville, having been there for just 5 months with no other place to stay, and I managed to find a spot for the summer, but
Wait, I have a question. Before
yeah.
you continue with the story, were you like, did they allow you to stay into residence?
Yeah. They kept us in residence for I think it was 3 to 4 weeks. They moved us all to Windsor,
And
and
then
and then after that, like they
they were
helped
like,
us
you have to
find
find your own place.
exactly. Yeah,
Okay,
pretty
cool.
much. I mean, they were very helpful in terms of finding places, but we were on our own and we had to find our own place. I remember like asking a bunch of people like, hey, can I take over sublet and stuff, but at the end of the day, we managed to find a place with some of my international friends. It was great having them for company, but I remember the first few months just sitting alone in a house by yourself, going insane, doing nothing at all.
Yeah, everything was shut down.
Everything was shut out. Just felt like I lost my place, and it was incredibly hard. I hadn't seen my family in like over a year. I was, slightly homesick. Um, but yeah, it was not the greatest of experiences, and and that happened all when I was just building my social presence here, still finding my social group. So it was quite hectic in Thor's own words. But honestly, even though that happened and the summer was slightly bad, I think that the red phase, restrictions, that was more, that took a toll on me more than the first lockdown, mainly because you're just studying and you're sitting at home. I was not able to meet my friends. I was not able to converse with people. I was just sitting at home doing work or going to the flight school, and yeah, I mean, obviously it was just not a me thing. Everyone was facing the situation, and I can't imagine what everyone else is going through. But it took a big toll on my mental health, and I started feeling the symptoms of going down, of like starting cutting off people, like eliminating my social presence, just sticking to my own bubble. Although it was good to take a break, I think that I was disconnected way too much, and I lost the foothold of my friendships and maintaining the social presence.
Yeah, I definitely cannot relate to that because I wasn't here in Sackville when like it all went down. Like
Right.
school closed, and I promise you, I was on the flight the next day to go back home
I,
because
w-
my
I
mom
don't
was like,
blame you. Yeah.
I don't want it. I don't want you to like spend COVID here because
Yeah.
like she felt like I'd be unprotected.
Shout out your mom. She came in class.
Yeah, but like I definitely understand like the process of like deleting your social presence, especially because you're just stuck in like one house,
Oh yeah.
one
Yeah.
box,
One house. One
same
box.
people every day. You're
No
doing the same routine
activities.
every day.
Mm-hmm.
And like it's hard to like when you go from like this busy life of like school, going out, seeing friends, going to the club, studying, going to the library, and then you just have to stick to you everything comes together as one. You do everything from one place
Yeah.
at the same time every day. And like so you went through these whole process of like cutting off friends, deleting your
Yeah.
social media presence.
Mm-hmm.
How did you like overcome that and like get on the other side of it, even though we're still in the panoramic?
Honestly, it was just a recent start of accepting what the situation is.
Yeah.
I just started looking at things in a broader perspective and saw that I'm in, New Brunswick, where COVID isn't that bad, gratefully. And I was just grateful to have the opportunity to do what I like, to fly, to, study what I want to study. And just taking that into account made me realize how fortunate I am. Because I look at things back home, the situation's so terrible. People are struggling, mentally. It's absolutely intense. Just looking at that made me feel that, I'm taking things for granted. I need to appreciate things I have, the opportunities I have. And as soon as, that started to click, I started feeling better. I started accepting that, this is what it is. I'm happy with what I have, and I'm grateful to keep this journey going on. And I used that as a foundation to build up my social presence again. Started talking to people, and I'm getting back in the groove. And yeah, just grateful to be back on my feet.
Yeah, like definitely like I felt like you come to terms with yourself and saying this situation is what it is,
Yeah.
and I can either make the best out of it or the
Mhm.
worst out of it, and you
Yeah.
chose the better side.
Yeah.
And like I just met you this month for sure. Officially this month for sure. I've always known about you.
Aw.
My friends like they would always talk about you like, oh yeah, Shashank, like he's having this get together, he's having this potluck. They were so happy and excited to like talk about you, and like you seemed like such a happy person. And then like meeting you here at CHMA, you're always so happy, so confident. You come into work with a
Right.
smile on your face every day. How do you find yourself? How did you find yourself in such a happy position? Like everything you've experienced throughout your life with the depression recently
Yeah.
because of COVID, and then the weird experiences that you had back here, and like everything you've experienced coming here. How have you ended up on like the happy side? Like what?
Right.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's been a journey because I started off as a super, super shy, kind of wimpy kid.
I don't believe that.
No, you wouldn't believe this, but I was so insecure about myself.
Yeah.
I just used to stick to myself, do my own thing, very, very, extremely shy. I didn't have that confidence to go out and talk to people.
Yeah.
And actually, I think what happened was COVID, I think, humbled me a lot and made me think more about how the world really is, to get my priorities straight and understand that we're living in a world where anything can happen any day. So there's absolutely no point in me being secluded to myself, in me being scared of putting my real self out there.
Right.
It was just about accepting that anything can happen any day, so why don't you do the best you can today, and when I came here, I was super super insecure, but I started building that resilience. I started appreciating myself more, make some changes in my lifestyle. I didn't like the way I used to live. I started, exercising a bit more, lost a few pounds. Mentally, honestly, exercising
Yeah,
plays
you
a
always
crucial
encourage me to go
role.
to the gym,
I
which I
do.
always skip out on.
Yeah, not only the physical benefits of it, but I think mentally it just makes you so much more stronger than it's so undervalued. I started doing that, exploring new styles, changing yourself a bit day by day, just to see who you really are. Gave me some more confidence that I like myself, that I I enjoy the person who I am, and I think I use that as a foundation to start going out there, start socializing more, and I think it worked out well. Yeah.
Yeah, like you talked about like how you've blossomed into the person you are
Yeah.
today. It has it been like hard to your friend? Has it been hard for your friend to like see that change? Like, I know like some people say like friends are seasonal.
Yeah.
Like you,
Right.
like it's like a flower. So like
Mm-hmm.
each layer you drop off of a flower, you lose a friend because they're only supposed to be with you for that season.
I see.
Has it been hard for your friends to like grow up to this change to be who you are because you've changed so much to be the person that you are today? So happy, so confident.
Slightly though. I think mostly my friends back home,
Mm-hmm.
I think they're more surprised, and yeah, they're very surprised that I changed from this, low
Yeah.
key kind of very not very social guy to someone who's quite confident and social and is outgoing. I think they are quite surprised, and I see them replying to my story every now and then, being like, "Whoa, is that you? Whoa, I see you going out," and stuff like that. And I'm like, yeah, things change, and I like this myself. I think that yeah, COVID, what it did was it humbled me quite a bit, and that definitely played a role. I don't think I lost any friends, if any,
Mm.
but there's definitely been some that you lose the connection with, because you just change, grow, and you grow so much that you become almost a different person. But I think change is good, and sometimes dropping that baggage on them, and putting that weight onto them is good, just to give yourself the confidence and let them know that you're not the person who you used to be, and you're
Yeah.
going to be a better person every day.
Yeah, like not like definitely for sure because for me I know like I've grown to like be this person and like
Uh-huh.
ever since like it's like a stigma in the Bahamas to like go off to school because like if you go off to school that means you're gonna forget your friends back at home.
Yeah.
So for me it was like I didn't like forget my friends back at home. I would always
Okay.
like try to stay in connect and stuff
Definitely.
and like talk to them.
Yeah.
But like no one, they don't know what it's like to be in this experience, especially like you're coming here, you don't know like what the workflow is like. So I was like studying every day, and they were like, you don't have time for me anymore.
Yeah.
And I was just like,
Yeah.
it's not the fact that I don't have time for you. I'm just so busy doing other things.
Exactly.
And like honestly, I could say cutting them off was the best thing I could ever do
Yeah.
because the relationship was very toxic.
Okay.
And
yeah.
I kind of used coming off the school as an excuse to like get rid of that relationship because I know it would make me a better person. So now that my happiness is out here because everything I've been through,
Yeah.
I hold my happiness so near and dear to my heart. So now that you've gone through your whole blossom season, you're climbing your stairs to growth. What does how do you hold your happiness? What does your happiness mean to you?
Oh, that's an intense question. What does my happiness mean to me?
Yeah.
Well, honestly, as long as I have the opportunity to do what I want to do the experiences that I have the opportunity to do so, I'm honestly just happy. I realize that keeping your goals and let's say how things you value very simple and basic, it helps you gather that humble quality that I think I gained from it, which is crucial in being happy. It's like the less you want, the more happy you are, kind of thing. So I think that diving into a materialistic life and always, I guess, asking for more, asking for unrealistic things and things that you just see off social media, that kind of stuff, if you cut it off and stick to basic principles, you're going to be happy with yourself. And that's what I've been trying to do day by day.
Nice.
Keep it basic, and yeah.
I love the fact that you said like stick to basic principles. I know for me, like I always find myself like overreaching, and then once I don't get this goal, I always like get sad or like go into like, oh dang it, or I should have changed the way how I try to approach reaching my goal. And so you've now come from this timid, shy person into this confident, happy person. Can you say now that you truly love yourself?
I think so. I think I'm getting there. I'm way closer to loving myself fully than I was, let's say, a year ago. And I'm proud of that. Well, I'm learning more about myself day by day, and I'm definitely loving myself more day by day. And I think if I just work on maybe a bit of discipline, a bit of changing habits.
Yeah, definitely. I'm not disciplined.
Then it's gonna work out. Although what you said was it was quite relatable with the friends thing, though, because I did realize that when I come here, and I know if they're gonna listen, they're gonna call me out. But I'm sorry. There was a lot of toxicity back in high school, and I'm glad to have moved out. Don't get me wrong. I still love my friends there, and I still talk to them. But you'd really realize the level of toxicity once you leave that kind of environment and explore some new environments. Definitely.
Yeah, like definitely. In my last episode with Shania, she talked about how there's like in grade 1 through 6, like you don't find yourself like being conscious of yourself. You just found like, oh, okay, this is who I am.
Yeah.
But like when you reach that high school, junior school, middle school age, then it's like, okay, why am I the tallest in the class? Or like, why is everyone pointing out this fact about me?
Yeah.
So like we talked about like that switch, and like it can be damaging sometimes, especially like when you carry that on through years and you keep remembering that one thing everybody said. So like I just find it like so interesting how one thing someone says can determine your whole future.
Exactly. As well as, I came from a different background in the sense that I did IB for high school, which was quite intense, and I just felt like there was so much pressure to do well, and it was almost like, if you don't do well in academics, then your whole life's going to be in absolute shambles, which is totally false. I just felt like my whole life was revolved around being academically proficient, that I kind of lost foothold of my own personality, of what I like and what I want to be. So kind of completing that, leaving that bubble, and coming here to have the opportunity to do what I love doing, it's been a complete game changer. And definitely it's been easier to love yourself more that way.
Well, I'm happy that like you found ways to like find happiness here, because you're doing what you love. You love aviation, you love flying.
Absolutely. Yeah.
He's been offering to fly us to Fredericton.
Tori's scared of me taking him up, but
I'm very much so scared. Not happening.
I think I'm a confident flyer, and maybe demonstrate a couple stalls for you.
I don't doubt your skills and ability here. I just doubt what you'll do to me while I get in the plane. So
no, I'll give you a special Tariq treatment,
No, I don't want to keep it.
You don't want to do a couple stalls, nose up,
No, the wheel spins.
No, you sure? It's a fun experience. Roller coaster is.
I prefer staying on the ground.
Tariq prefers driving 2 hours to Fredericton instead of taking a 20-minute flight.
Yes, definitely.
Interesting.
If it was a commercial plane, then maybe, but.
Okay.
So, you seem like such a happy person. Right. But we all know everybody has their struggles. Everybody has like the times where like they don't feel their best.
Yeah.
So in those moments and time, what do you find yourself doing? Do you find yourself like writing poetry, like reaching out to friends for like connection?
Definitely the latter.
You seem like such a happy person. And like, but we all know everyone has their own personal struggles in certain times and certain moments. So like, what do you find yourself doing?
Right.
What do you find yourself doing to bring yourself back up to this happy, bubbly person that you are? Do you like reach out to your friends for advice? Do you like cook? Do you like shop? Do you like do poetry or like draw art? Like, what do you find yourself doing?
That's a very good question, actually. The thing that I do and I feel like works the most is just talking to my close friends. I think if you just get it all out, explain to someone that wants to listen to you what you're going through and how you feel, not only do you get the advice and a second or third opinion onto, your situation, but you get that feeling of comfort. You get that feeling of, that someone's there for you and someone's actually listening. And honestly, that feeling is absolutely incredible. And whenever I feel down, I always reach out to my friends, talk about it, and it's the best way to try to make yourself feel better and overcome any adverse situations you're feeling, really.
We are complete opposites.
Really? What do you do? Go buy yourself ice cream?
No. No, like when I'm upset or like if I'm upset at something, like my friends would be the last person I reach out to.
Wow.
Like I would like just sit there, go through my emotions, and then I would like I would just sit there, go through my emotions, and then I just like think about the situation. Like I'm more like a logical person. Like I think about it. I'm like, why is this affecting me so much?
Right.
What are the emotions that I'm going through? Especially if like it's like an argument situation, then I look at my points, the other person's points, and I'm trying to like get a valid point to see which one is more valid, or like which one is like not more valid, but like which one. I try to understand both sides of the argument, especially if I'm in the wrong. Then I really want to understand the other person's perspective, because I feel like that's one of the hardest things you can do.
Definitely. Do you think that's been the best solution for you? It's been working, you feel like?
For me, yes, because I know like before I came to this point of like being more sensible, I would say, like before I came to this point of like considering other people's feelings and like understanding how my actions could affect them, I was definitely more so of I don't care, like I don't give a fuck. I would just move on with my life and not care. But then I realized that like I was literally pushing everything down, and then once I reached my threshold of pushing everything down, I would just like go through all these emotions of like depression, pain, crying at night, and just like letting it affect me so much because it was a buildup of like different emotions.
Interesting. I'm very curious. I'm gonna try that out next time. I want to see how that technique works. I have a lot of faith in it, so I'm gonna let you know if it works or not.
Honestly, I let myself go through the emotions for 24 hours. After that, I'm just like, what is the situation? How did I play a role in it? How is it affecting me? What did I do wrong? What did the other person do wrong if there is a other person? And then I try to like communicate everything and like just get over it. I cannot hold grudges. Like I'm not a grudges person.
Yeah, I feel like with this, I cannot do that either. I feel like, I mean, it's quite immature to say the least, but I think it's just better to move on with life, and there's no reason to hold anything against anyone. We're living a short life. Might as well make the most of it,
Definitely. My life's not going to be short. I'm going to live till 105. But,
right. I'm sure the exercising habits suits that
I go to the gym,
presumption. Mm-hmm.
I work out.
Right. Every day, don't you?
Yeah. Every day.
I see you on the soccer pitch on Sundays as well.
Yeah.
Top soccer player right here.
Top notch.
Absolutely.
Top notch. But, so... I want to say thank you for joining me on this podcast. But before you go, I have one more question. What is one piece of advice you would offer to someone who would be coming in your situation, who is coming from their home, and they're coming to a country where like they're going to be exposed to microaggressions, racism, bullying, mental health issues? Like what are pieces of advice you would give people who are coming in your situation?
Honestly, I think from what I've learned, the first advice I can give is to not take it lightly. Do you know what I mean? I need I think that they should, if they face any of these issues, that they need to stand out for themselves, stand up for themselves, raise concern for the issue, and make it evident that that's not right what they're doing, and it's totally wrong, and to educate them about what's right, what's wrong, and how to make the world a better place to live in. Because I feel like when I came here, I was so timid that all these experiences, I just kept them to myself. I didn't make much of it, and now that I think of it, if I had stood up for myself, if I had raised concern and raised a voice, I would have at least established a point to show that, that's all right. They need to be educated. They need to, understand the reality of the world. And as well as that works with the combination of fear. I think I came in here with a lot of fear of, I don't want to make a bad impression, new country, da da da. I don't think that's the right strategy. I think you should come with the strategy of having no fear, just being yourself, adapting to the situation, of course, but you shouldn't be afraid to raise concern, and you shouldn't be afraid of putting yourself out there. Definitely, I think those were the two big factors that that I feel I would have changed when I first came here.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Like when I first came here, I was like, I wouldn't say I was timid, but like I was scared to like speak up for myself in that sense.
Yeah.
Because I was always afraid of like that aspect of like, oh, they're gonna deport me, or like,
exactly,
oh, they're gonna like send me back to my home country. And like now that the whole Black Lives Matter thing has become so prominent now, especially in the US. And like I've seen like the aspects of it when it comes to like the indigenous community here in Canada. I find myself speaking up for me and others now, being that voice of reason, like being that voice of like, we're not going to take this because this is not right. So either you can go and educate yourself, or you just go off and squander. Like, don't come near me.
There's a lot of people, giving criticism to all these Black Lives Matter campaigns, and Asian Lives Matter, or even the indigenous campaigns I see. Because when I came from before I came here, I was under the impression that Canada is an excellent country, has no issues whatsoever. Everyone loves everything, but as soon as I came here and I started to realize, the level of marginalization the indigenous people faced, it's absolutely incredible how ruthless it was, and how ruthless they've been on them. So it's definitely, it has to be made a point, and I'm so happy that all of these issues are being raised and made clear that it's obviously not right.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Like the level of marginalization within the indigenous community is absurd.
Wow. Yeah,
it is absurd, and it's not right. It's not okay.
Yeah, and I think these kind of issues need some representation from groups in society, because these are all fundamental issues that definitely need to be rectified, and I think it's great to have people raise concern about them and educate the world.
Yeah, I definitely agree, because how can you make policies for me, but you don't know what it's like to be in my experience?
Exactly. Yeah.
How can you make policies for me, but you don't know the things I had to go through, my own experiences? So therefore, it's like I need representation within government, within law structures, within police, within like enforcements within the country, and like within the system. Because if we look back at it, systems are built at a disadvantage to minorities and Black, Indigenous people of color, and everyone in those communities. So if you don't put someone who understands the effect this has on minorities or BIPOC communities, then how can you advocate for something that you are not well versed on?
Exactly. It's mind-boggling, to be honest.
Yeah, definitely mind-boggling. But I just want to say thank you for coming on to the show. It's
been a pleasure.
You were such a guest that I was waiting to have on the show, because I love your thought process, your perspective on things, and especially your outlook on life. And so I thought it was really interesting, the things that you brought up to like help everyone learn.
Yeah.
So do you have any closing words that you want to say?
I must say, I think that working here, I've learned a lot. Yeah. And I just want to say that from what I've learned, I do believe that I have the best cookie at the office.
Oh
My
God.
cookie is quite incredible, to say the least. So what I do is take a plain and basic chocolate chip cookie, add a little bit of spicy mango chutney on the top it off with some light mayonnaise, and I shall tell you right now, right here, it's incredible. It's phenomenal, to say the least. The level of flavor, the level of, the texture of the whole combination, it's just scintillating. I do recommend everyone to try it, and I'm just humbled to be able to share that recipe with everyone.
I'm definitely sure my listeners are gonna try it. And I can't wait to try it myself. I want to
Yes.
say thank you for coming onto this podcast with me. You were such a great guest
Thank you
and
so much for having
co-host.
me. It's been nothing but an absolute pleasure. And
Thank you.
yeah, good luck with your shows. I do really enjoy hearing them.
Thank
It's
you.
out on
Thank you.
Spotify too. That's quite impressive.
Thank you so much. Thank you guys for listening to the I Love Me podcast. Come back next week, Saturday, so you can join us for an all brand new episode with an all brand new guest to bring you their perspectives, their outlooks, and their methods. My name is Thor,
And I'm Shashank.
and we are out.